Hey riders, Eric Lange with Ride Adventures here. Also with me is our lead training instructor, Andrew Murray. And Andrew, what are we going to talk about today?
You know, Eric, we go to rallies, and even when I talk to people and on a ride and they find out that I work for Ride Adventures, I'm an instructor, a lot of times they say something to the effect of, you know, I was thinking about doing training, but I didn't. And so I thought we'd talk about some of the things that stop them. Why, you know, what's stopping people from signing up for training?
Yeah,
and then maybe address some of those concerns that they have.
Yeah, I've heard people say that too, and we got kind of compiled a list here. And the first reason people often give is, well, of course, there's the cost of doing so.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it's an expense. You have to spend money to get value. And I guess I would say a couple things. One is, if you think about the money that you're probably spending on an adventure motorcycle and the helmet and the boots and the gear and then the trips you take, in the grand scheme of things, that money that you might spend on a training clinic is kind of a small percentage. If you compare the cost of, say, Ride Adventures 2-day clinic to the cost of a broken ankle, I think it's a pretty good return on investment.
Another reason people come up with is the intimidation factor.
Yeah, you know, that's a good one. I've heard that sort of expressed in a variety of ways. Might be that, oh, I don't think my skills are good enough for this training, or I'm just embarrassed or scared to be in front of, you know, the instructors. What if the instructors yell at me? So, you know, I guess a couple things to talk about on that. Number one, at Ride Adventures, our main training clinic is a 2-day ADV 1 level clinic, so it's for beginners. So if you're a beginner adventure rider, this is the right kind of training for you, and you're going to be paired up with other students with very similar riding skills. The other thing in terms of the instructors, you know, we've hired and trained our instructors to be very empathetic, to understand what it feels like to be an adult and learn a new skill like riding a motorcycle off-road. Being intimidated is normal. But we work really hard to make this a really great, fun, safe learning experience.
I would add to that saying the entire endeavor of adventure riding perhaps is supposed to be intimidating. That's part of why we're doing it in the first place. Whether it's showing up and meeting a bunch of people you've never ridden with before or trained with or whatever, or eventually getting out there on the roads and trails or whatever yourself, it's like, that's part of it. So you just got to learn to take that step and get past it. So another one we noticed and might be stopping people from taking training is how to choose a provider in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people offering adventure motorcycle training now, and I think some good questions to ask would be starting with student to instructor ratio. At Ride Adventures, we typically have 1 instructor per 3 or possibly 4 students. So a very good instructor to student ratio. It means you're going to get a lot of attention, a lot of coaching, a lot of instruction, which is what you're paying for. Another thing to look at is, do they have their own facility to train at? Ride Adventures, we have a dedicated facility here in Bend and one in Pahrump. We've spent years now building this out and really to challenge and also to develop skills for new adventure riders. Another thing to look at is references. Talk to some people that have taken the class. You might find them on social media. Most clinics should be able to provide you with some names of people that will be references that have taken the class before. And you might find that talking to someone that you know that's taken our class, that might tell you that maybe it's not the right class for you. We hope that's not the case, but yeah, so talking to people that have taken the class before is a great way to sort of understand what to expect, whether it's the right clinic for you.
Hey riders, I want to make sure you heard about the Ride Points program. It basically means that every dollar you spend with us, whether it's on parts and gear, training, or some kind of a tourism travel package, every dollar is a point, and then 20 points goes toward $1 towards your next purchase. It's like getting 5% back on everything you spend with us. So be sure to check out the Ride Points program, and let's get back to the video. Okay, another question or another concern people have is that they don't have the right bike.
You know, I've talked to people that have come up to our booth at one of the rallies, and they say something effective, you know, I want to get into adventure riding, I just have a street bike right now, so I don't really have the right bike to ride. Or, gee, I don't even know what kind of bike to buy. And so at Ride Adventures, we have a number of different rental bikes that are available for students to rent for the training, or they can bring their own. But having sort of a variety of bikes that we can offer as rentals gives people a way to find out whether that's the right bike for them or what can help them to choose the right bike when they get ready to buy their adventure bike.
Yeah, a certain completely street dedicated or pavement dedicated bikes don't belong in our training programs here, where we're focused on getting people comfortable riding in the dirt. And so again, to have the rental bike options available, well, we can solve that problem for you. Okay, so Andrew, what's one more concern that probably all of us have?
They're all gonna laugh at me.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
Great movie reference, but yeah, it's a legitimate concern. Probably we all had at some point.
Sure it is, and it's going back to that intimidation thing, you know, of being embarrassed that you show up without a level of skill that you think is necessary to take a clinic like this. And I guess the best thing I can tell you is that you're a lot better off taking the clinic and learning these skills and developing your skills early on in your adventure motorcycle journey than later on after you've developed bad habits or had some crashes. Yeah, I think you just have to get past that. No one's going to laugh at you.
Another concern we hear about is, what is the ROI? What's the return on investment on these?
Sure. I mean, that's not an easy thing to measure, but one thing we do measure is we survey every one of our students after they've taken our training. And we get a very large number of people responding to those surveys. Well into the mid or high 90% of people that respond answer the question, do you feel like you're a safer, more confident, more skilled rider now that you've taken our training? And upwards of 95% of the people that respond say they strongly agree with that statement. I don't exactly know how to measure ROI, but I think that's the data that I would leave you with.
If they come out a step or a head up from where they were before,
Absolutely.
Is enough of a point of progress that, again, you can't measure what that's going to save them from or how that's going to make their riding more enjoyable, but it's a step in the right direction.
I tell every one of our students, every one of our clinics that I teach, one of the things I tell them is, this is probably the best money that you can spend after you've bought your motorcycle helmet and boots.
Safety is another concern people have mentioned, reasons why they don't want to take a training class.
Sure. I mean, riding a motorcycle has inherent risks. There's risks in taking a motorcycle training course. I would say that there's more risk in riding a motorcycle off-road without some skill training than there is with. We work very hard at making sure that we have a safe environment. We have 3 real major tenements to our training, and that's that you learn, that you have fun, and that it's safe.
And so, of course, safety is a concern for everybody. But one last concern we hear is that riders are wondering if the off-road training they're signing up for is the type of training that's going to set them up for the type of riding they want to do.
Sure. There's lots of different types of off-road training. Motocross and dirt bike training, hard enduro training schools, dual sport and adventure training, and that's what we offer. If you're looking to do BDR style riding, if you're looking to ride enduro or adventure and big adventure bikes off-road, we're a great training opportunity for those kind of skills.
Not just the on-bike stuff, but off-bike as well, learning to pack and plan and economize your tool set and just get yourself ready for the unlimited travel options ahead.
Absolutely.
Well, riders, hopefully that list of concerns that we've addressed, it covers your concerns. If there are any others, please write into us in the comments section or through the website or however. We want to help make sure that you're taking not only training, but the right training for what you have planned ahead. So thanks for watching. I'm Eric Lange with Ride Adventures, and with me is our lead instructor, Andrew Murray, and signing off, and we hope to see you at training soon.